first, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello and welcome back to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. As always, thank you for joining us. There you are. We appreciate that. We are live streaming here every weekday starting at 1 p.m. Pacific and going throughout the afternoon. And if you watch this show regularly, I always say this, on Thursdays around 1:30, generally speaking, we're going to have Eric Goranson from Around the House Northwest joining us here in studio with us, and always with some great tips, tricks, advice that everybody can use no matter where you're at.
Absolutely. And we've got a fun one today. This is something that's been a hot new trend that we're seeing out there. And so what we're seeing is people aging with their homes, right? So we used to see people, I'm hitting 65, I'm hitting 70, better start thinking about those later years. Now the trend is people in their 40s and 50s are going, hey, I might be in this house for a while.
I guess I can't get another one.
Better start figuring out what I'm going to do with this place in another 30 years. So you're starting to see these things get basically inserted into remodeling projects now much easier. But the cool thing is they don't look like, that ADA hotel room that you got stuck with when it was the last one, right?
Right.
With all the weird bars,
and
the high toe kicks, and it looks really bad. It's very hospital-esque.
Right, yeah.
So now styles, you could have those same styles and make it look cool, but make it more accessible for every generation.
Nice.
Especially with people having multi-generational houses now that we're seeing,
Yeah.
Maybe mom's moving in or dad's moving in or you're moving in with mom, whatever those things are. So
whatever the case may be, but making sure that it's accessible for everybody and doesn't look like that old classic hospital style. Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody does. No,
it's horrible. So there's some different, things going on in different rooms that are really key. So you're seeing this in kind of every room of the house. For instance, the kitchen. You're seeing home tech be a big one right there. So what you can have now is instead of somebody, maybe they're going around in a walker or they're sitting in their walker cooking, they can now use their phone to turn on the vent fan.
Right.
You're starting to see those kind of things. You can start the dishwasher, you can start the appliances. And then little things like having a faucet in the kitchen. My test for using faucets is, can I operate it with a closed fist?
Okay.
Can I turn it on and off? If you have arthritis or something like that, maybe you're going to have a hard time. But if you can run that with a closed fist, that's going to be a great faucet to use.
That's a really interesting way to think about that too, because obviously you're not going to be able to grip some of that. That's going to be really hard. So okay.
Closed fist, easy way to do it.
Closed fist. Okay.
And then, of course, making sure that you've got those floor transitions between rooms. If you're going from carpet to tile, carpet to hardwood, or in between rooms, you want to make sure those are not a tripping hazard, as well as having that just smooth transition. So as you're putting those floorings in, you need to make sure that you're keeping those nice, smooth, and level. And if you can eliminate carpet, it just makes it a little bit easier.
Right, and easier to clean.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
So much easier to clean. Another thing you need to think about in the kitchen is lighting, because that's a work surface. So when you're doing this, you need to make sure that you can have that adjustable lighting, because somebody that's 25 needs half the amount of light as somebody at 65. So you think about that. If you're lighting it perfectly for somebody that's 65, they need a lot more light than somebody that's in their 20s. And so you need to have that adjustability between people, or as you get older, that you're going to need a little bit more light as time goes on. So that way you can just make a simple adjustment instead of having to change out light fixtures and do that kind of stuff.
So you just put in, what would you do? Put in either smart lighting or put in a switch that's got a...
You can do dimmers. If you just want to keep it just really rudimentary, you can put a dimmer switch on there. But what I like to do is, if you're doing that kitchen remodel, you're putting in new lighting, overlight the place so you can make it really bright, and then use that dimmer to bring it down to where you want it. That way, if you need it bright, like, hey, I dropped something into the range, I can go, whoom, go find it.
Yeah, have floodlights basically in there if you need to.
Absolutely, and then you bring it back down and you're good.
Yeah, I like that. So that way you're prepared no matter what.
Yeah, and the big one too is the bathrooms. That's where people have the most trouble. If you think about when you've got a parent or somebody that's been injured, that's usually where the biggest problems are. Is, okay, they need to go in and use the bathroom. So when you're doing those bathroom models, that's a big one. So, what's really hot right now is those curbless showers. So when you go step into a shower, there's no curb there. You're not stepping over anything.
Yeah.
And so if you can do that designer shower where it's curbless, you're good.
Should we take a look at this?
Let's take a look at this. This is a big one here, and this is toilets. And this is where things have really been a game changer out there. So I work with Toto on this project right here. So I actually worked with a nonprofit. There was somebody that was really in need, that was older, that needed to have a bidet in there so she could stay in her home longer, because it's really embarrassing for people to say, hey, I need help using the bathroom in the facilities. So this was a really simple swap out. I put a new toilet in that was higher, as well put in this is a great system. So I had a Toto Drake toilet, And then that is the Toto washlet. So that just plugs right there into an
Oh,
outlet.
just a regular outlet right there.
Just a regular outlet, and it hooks up like a regular toilet. And so depending on the styles, I took this here at the Kitchen and Bath Show this year. You can see the different models right here that they have. So pretty much something for every style you're on. And what's cool with this is they've made it so all the tubes and stuff are pretty hiding now. You see those where you could add you see right there, you could actually add the bidet toilet seat on a regular toilet. Now they've come up where they've hid that in the toilet itself. So if you look at this picture right here, that goes down through an opening in the toilet. So it's ready for that bidet toilet seat. So whether you have one or not, you can actually put it in there, but you don't have all the hoses and stuff hanging off the side that you would.
Right, which
And
can get kind of annoying.
It's just really cool. So the cool thing with these Toto washlets, and you can get these anywhere. I mean, I've seen them at Costco. You can get them at your local, plumbing retailer. But what's cool about these is that one, when you use them, they've got a heated seat. They're super comfortable. For somebody that's older, what's really cool with this thing is that it makes it easy to use. It's a simple push button.
Yeah.
And then they can go in there with dignity, use the bathroom without any help, and leave.
Right, and you can put that in any time, and that way, have that freedom. To themselves back.
Absolutely.
That's great.
And the cool thing is with some of these toilets now is they've made them self-cleaning.
Yeah.
Literally don't have to go in and clean them
nothing.
anymore. Nothing. So they've got this e-water that you basically what it does is it sprays it around the bowl and mists it there. And so it's this ionized water. So it basically self-cleans itself. So maybe once or twice, every month, maybe you wipe it down, even if you got crazy kids running around. But it's pretty much as self-cleaning of a toilet as you can.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And that makes it easier.
Yeah, huge difference.
Yeah, so bathrooms are a really big one in there. And again, lighting's another one there. And then they make all the new hand bars and grab bars and stuff that are really cool. So what happens with that is that you can actually go through and put in bars where you want. They look like towel bars. They're decorative. They look really cool.
Nice.
So that's a fun one right there. And it's safer for everybody.
Right.
Hey, maybe somebody's shaving their legs. Awesome.
Yeah.
Place to hold on to.
Yeah.
In the shower.
Right.
Makes it nice.
Or you're just clumsy like me and you just fall for
Same.
no reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's good for everybody. Lighting, again, is one of the things. And then around the rest of the house, things you can look at are some of the adjustable beds, things like that. They make beds now that'll drop right down so you can sit on it. It'll lift you up. You can get into bed.
Oh, yeah, so no more having to do like the little stairs or anything like that.
Stairs or anything like that. It's so much safer. So there's a lot of different things like that you can do. And then outside, if you're doing any landscaping or doing any new steps and stuff like that, we did this with my parents' house when we built it about 15 years ago. We actually made it so there's no stairs going up to the house. So we landscaped it. So we had a nice walkway that came up out of the driveway, not a single step, so you could roll right in.
Wow.
But it doesn't look like a big, like universal big ramp coming up, some aluminum ramp coming up, like you would see that people have added into it. If you can design that into it, it's so much better because if you've got a hand truck, or if you're doing stuff around there, or you're moving a piece of furniture, you can get in and out of the house without having to deal with steps anyway.
Right.
So just as a common practice, if you don't have to have stairs, why put them in?
Yeah, why bother with it? So you landscaped it so it just looks, so the ramp just...
Driveway comes up and it goes into the garage, and even though there's a two-step up into the garage, we just did this nice slope up there that actually meets the ADA guidelines. It's just a nice gentle slope. So my mom in a walker, my dad when he was alive with his wheelchair, no problem. They could get up in there.
That's really, really cool and a great way to do it. And again, something so it's not going to feel like, nobody wants to feel like they can't be going up something like that.
You could sell that to somebody that's 25 years old and there's nothing that looks like it.
Yeah, it'd be totally fine. All right, well these are great.
One last tip: if you're doing remodeling, replacing those doors, change out all your doorways to the big 3-foot wide ones.
Okay.
Nobody will notice. You give that access so that way when people move in and out, it's nice and wide. You've got wheelchairs, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It just
Wheelchair,
makes
walker,
access anywhere else. You're not bouncing stuff off. The trim doesn't get banged up as much, and it's just a simple, easy thing to do while you're doing that remodel.
Yeah. All right. Well, these are all really great ideas.
You think about what assisted living costs.
Yeah.
And if you can go in and maybe do some lighting, maybe do that, like the washlet bidet toilet seat, all of a sudden you've got some things you're paying a little bit of money that could save you a ton each month.
Right.
And then they're in their own home.
Yeah, and somebody doesn't have to
cool
leave
part.
their home quite as quick.
Yeah, exactly. If you can give some more extra life out of there, everybody's winning and everybody's more comfortable.
Everybody's
You'll never
happy.
run out of toilet paper.
Yeah, that's true. Don't have to worry about that or the cleaning of it, man.
Exactly.
Well, great tips, and for everybody out there too. We're going to continue on here. We're talking about Around the House Northwest, but I do want to say, make sure that that you can share this. So wherever you're watching it, you can share it right from there. So if you have somebody in your life that you think would benefit from this advice, please do that. But yeah, let's talk about Around the House Northwest for this
we got
week.
a killer show coming up this week. So I start out with my Perform Like a Pro segment, landscape lighting.
Ooh, cool.
That changed that. And nothing against the home centers, but when you go out and get landscape lighting, you need to kind of get the better stuff. If you go spend a couple $100 on the plastic stuff,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the solar lights that you go out, they last a year and you throw them in the trash, right?
Yep.
Or they go recycle. It's just not something good. So you got to spend a little bit more money to get something that'll last you 15 or 20 years.
Okay.
But they will.
But
That's
they will
the
last.
Cool thing.
Nice.
And so then we go through the design of that. So, okay, where do I want to do it? Do I want to wash up, take a spotlight and wash the trees so they glow at night? Do I want to put that on the wall? Do I want to have a walkway light? So we go through that design and show a cool before and after.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I definitely want to check that out because that's what I want to be doing.
Oh.
Some more for my yard. So.
And it's so easy to do. It's a great DIY project.
Yeah, cool. So that's the Perform Like a Pro segment.
Exactly. And then we talk with a buddy of mine, the Idaho Painter. He's huge on YouTube and Instagram. So he's a guy out of Boise that is just a painter, and his big thing out there is educating people. So we talk about those exterior painting tips from the pro. If you're going to be painting the house or doing some touch-ups, here's what you do. So we had a great conversation with that. That's a fun one.
Cool. So landscaping, painting.
Yeah.
That's a couple of the segments.
That's a couple of
And
them.
as we always say, there's a ton of segments during it.
Yeah, and if for the new homeowners out there, we went through and grabbed a handful of tools that are must-have for that brand new toolbox. If you got that brand new home, you're like, okay, maybe it's a housewarming gift, something like that.
Right.
Okay, need some tools. Here's some basics ones that get you started.
Things that you will find that you need if
Yeah.
you own a home.
That was a good one. And then one more I'll do. We do a test it, which is cool. I found this cool little Grip Right air compressor. And you know how loud those little air compressors are.
Yes.
You turn them on, they're super loud. This is a quiet one. It's only 60 decibels.
Wow.
And so you turn it on, and it's like a loud dishwasher, basically.
That's pretty nice.
And it only weighs 34 pounds, and you can run your air tools and stuff off of it. So I like quiet. It's about half as, about 50% of what my other one that I had was. So it's, it's like that one. I'm keeping
quiet, portable, and
yeah, move
34
around.
pounds. Yeah, you can lift
it's
that.
great inside. You're doing that trim work and stuff. You can go through and bam, 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 and
Yep.
and you're not waking the neighbors up next door if you're working inside.
Nice. And again, these are just some of the things that'll be on this week's episode.
Oh yeah, we got a lot.
There's a lot more.
I even got hot tub maintenance. We'll talk about that one. I'd love to see it.
I'm working on that myself. So
There we go.
Yeah, I'll be checking that out. This is great. And again, Around the House Northwest for everybody out there to know when, where, how to watch.
All right, of course, we got the YouTube channel, so you can go back and see the last year's episodes there, all broken out, so you can search it really easy over on the KPTV Fox 12 YouTube channel. But as far as the television show, you can watch last week's episode tomorrow morning, of course, Fox 12 Plus, 8 a.m. And then 10 a.m. is our brand new show that we're just talking about on Saturday. And then Sunday night again at 6 o'clock.
So there you go. Plenty of opportunities. And like you said, you can go to that YouTube channel, go to the app. It's all on there on both of those. So plenty of places to.
Yeah, and if you got any questions or like, hey, you haven't covered this, send me a message over on our Facebook page. Love to see if we can tackle it for you.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you, Eric, as always, and thank you to everybody who's just joining in. Again, this is Fox 12 Now, so we are here throughout the afternoon. If you were watching earlier, I'm just going to say this for any live listeners. We had a little bit of a tech issue happen when we were going to play our Shanghai Tunnel interview. I mean, it happens, and like I said before, if you ever wonder if we're live, we're live. So we're gonna fix that. That's going to be redone here this afternoon. So at some point, wherever you're watching, you'll get a notice that says, "Hey, we're live." Hop right in, join us. So it'll probably be around 3 o'clock is what I'm going to guess. But we are looking forward to that and always looking forward to you joining us here. So thank you for doing so. We'll sign off right now. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.